Masechet. Ein Pesach betoya pochas mishiva v'lo yeser al yud zayin. The Mishnayos over here are going with not more, not less. There's not less than this and not more. All the different types of halachas that have not less and not more. So over here we had Erchin not less than the selah, not more than 50. We're going to have different things. Now it's Ein Pesach betoya, a woman who's a nida, and she now lost count of her days of nida and zava. Right, a woman can be a nida or a zava. So if she's a toya, she lost count. So then there's no Pesach, meaning there's no Pesach nida. There's no vaday Pesach nida to know that she's back to her beginning of her yomei nida. Pachas mishiva less than 7 days, unless she sees less than 7 nikiyim, meaning less than waiting 7 nikiyim, or more than 17 nikiyim. The most she's going to have to wait is 17 nikiyim, and the least she's going to have to wait is 7 nikiyim. Now, what does this mean? Why? What's going on? So Rashi explains all the kolel that we have to know. First of all, the midoraisa, a woman who sees nida, so she can see blood till 7 days. On the 7th day, she goes to after the 7th day, she goes to the mikveh and she's taught. Right? So she doesn't need shiva nikiyim. That's during the regular 7 days. But then after the regular 7 days of nidus, after her menstrual period, if she still sees within the next 11 days. Right? So the first 7 days of yomei nida, then you have 11 days which are yomei ziva. If she sees 1 day, then she has to wait. Then she has to wait one day mitayvah. If she's 2 days, she has to wait 2 days in mitayvah. If she sees 3 days, then she's a zava g'dayla and she needs shiva nikiyim. Right, so she goes from either a shemeres yom k'neged yom, that's the lower zava ktana, to zava g'dayla, which is if she sees 3 days within those 11 days that are after the 7 days, right, then she becomes a zava g'dayla, and she has to wait shiva nikiyim. Right, now if she doesn't go back to be to having a regular nidus, right? Which she would only have. She wouldn't have to have shiva nikiyim. Now she would only need 7 days midoraisa. Today we don't do that, right? But midoraisa, she doesn't go back until after the 11 days. It's very important to know where you're holding in the schedule. We're talking a woman who lost count of her nida days. She doesn't know, and she has 7 days of nida, 11 days of zava, and it's very important to know where she is, because if she sees dam for 3 days while she's at zava, she has to wait shiva nikiyim. If it's while she's regular nida, so she doesn't have to wait shiva nikiyim. She has to wait shiva and then go to the mikvah. So it's very important to know. The problem is, let's say she makes a mistake. So the Mishnah says you will never have to wait less than 7 is the least amount of days she'll have to wait, and 17 is the most amount of days she's going to have to wait in order to figure out her cycle. Ton Rabbanan says, now the Gemara is going to explain. Toya she'amra yom echad tamei ra'isi. If a woman says, I saw 1 day, meaning she saw 1 day of dam, and she doesn't know whether it's dam nida, whether it's dam zava, I don't know where I am, right? So the worst that could be, meaning the furthest she could be from the next nida cycle is 17 days, 18 days really. But because the whole entire cycle is 7 plus 11, 7 days of nida plus 11 days of zava, right? So it's a full 18-day cycle. She saw the first day, so now the furthest is 17 days. If she waits 17 nikiyim days, we know for sure, right? We know for sure that. And then, if she sees blood after those 17 days, we know that she's a nida. Why? Because if when she saw dam, if she was a zava ktana, she saw 1 day yomei ziva, right? So then, in the Vayter, she really could wait much less, right? Because if it was during yomei ziva, she can wait much less. It's only 11 days, right? And then after that, already it's yomei nida, right? The possibility that would need us to count the furthest is if that's the first day of nidus, right? If it was the 4th day of nidus, you also need less because she already starts the cycle earlier. But over here, the worst case scenario is that the first day that she saw was the first day of nidus, which means that she's going to have to wait a full another 17 days in order to come back to the beginning of her cycle. Okay, so that's Toya Shamar Yomecha Tamarisi Pischa Sheva Asar. Now the same is going to be true. Same halach is going to be true by Shnei Yamim. And also Pischa Shiva Asar, she's going to have to wait 17 days to be Tahar again. not to be Targan, to have the beginning. Pesach means the beginning of Nida. And also Shloisha Yom Tomer also Pischos Shiva also. Why is Allah the same in all these three cases? Because in all these three cases, what we say is that there's a possibility that maybe the first two, maybe if she saw 2 days, right? So maybe the first day was the end of the Zava cycle. And the second day that she saw was the first day of the Nida cycle. So again you have to wait 17 days. Right? Now the same thing is true if she sees 3 days, because we say the first 2 days were just part of your old Zava, then you started your Nida, right? And now Savaita you have to wait another 17 days, which means because if she sees 1 day we're choshesh maybe it's the first day of Nida. If she sees 2 days, we're choshesh that the last day that she saw is the first day of Nida, and also if she sees 3 days because the last day she saw she was Nida, right? So you always have to wait another 17 days. However, if once it hits 4 days, so then it's a different story. Why? Then Pischas Shisha also. Why? Because once she sees 4 days, so if it's fully Yomei Ziva, right? If it's fully in the Yomei Ziva, she has to wait even less. And if it's a Yomei Nida, she also has to wait less. But the point is that the worst case scenario is that if the first 3 days, she saw 4 days, right? So if the first 3 days were Yomei Ziva, right? Then you want to say, oh, maybe this is Tchilas Nida, she has to wait another 17 days. No, that's not the way it works, because once you see 3 days Yomei Ziva, then she has to wait Shiva Nikim. And after she waits Shiva Nikim, right? How many more days? If it's already 3 days of Yomei Ziva, right? Which is 3. Then she's going to have to wait 7 Nikim, right? So that's 7, and then after that we already hit 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to have to wait 7 Nikim, and then it's already 11. So that means all she needs to do is wait another Shiva Nikim, right? So we're not mechayev her to wait 17 days as if this is Tchilas Nidus. All she would need is 7. The worst case scenario would be is that 1, 2, these first 2 days are Yomei Ziva. This was Tchilas Nida, right? The third day was Tchilas Nida, and so then she already had 2 days of the Nida cycle. Right, it means because these 2 Yomei Ziva, the third and fourth day that she saw were the Tchilas Nida, which means now in her 18-day cycle, you already minus 2, because she already saw 2 days of Nida. So all she has left is 16 days, right? She needs 5 more days of Yomei Nida, 11 more days of Yomei Ziva, and then she can start again. Okay, and that's going to be the cheshbon this whole time. So it's Arba Yom Tomer Isi, so Pischa Shisha Asar, Chamisha Yom Tomer Isi, so weiter. If she saw Chamisha Yamim, we say that maybe the first 2 days were right, the same thing. She's Chamisha Yamim Tamei Reisi, so she saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Where Chayshish, that may be the first 2 days were Yomei Ziva. The worst case scenario is if the first 2 days if everything's in Yomei Ziva, so we're good. You don't even have to count another 11 because you're within 11. If the first day was Yomei Nida, right? So you need 17 from the first day, but she saw 5 days. The worst case scenario is the first 2 days are Tchilas Nida, are Seif Zava. The first 2 days are Seif Zava, and she already had 3 days of Nida. And if you already had 3 days of Nida, so then Vaiter of the 18, you just minus 3 already, and you have 15. Alright, so then Chamisha Yom Tamarisi, Pisla Chamisha Azar. Same thing with Shisha Yom Tamarisi, Vaiter, you take off the first 2 days, and then you're left with another 4. So if you're left with, right, because she saw out of 6 days, 2 are the end of the Ziva, and 4 at the worst case scenario are the beginning of Nida, which means she already saw 4, so 18 minus 4 is 14, so she has 14 left. What? Oh, because the worst case scenario is the first 2 days are Ziva, and then the rest are Nida. Why? Because if the first 3 days are Ziva, right? So then all she needs is Shiva Nikiyim. She has to wait another 7 Nikiyim because Yomei Ziva only goes for 11 days. It's only Yud Aleph Yom Bein Nida LeNida. Means in a regular process, in a regular cycle, she sees 7 Yomei Nida, the regular menstrual cycle, and then the lo yes nidas at a time when she's not supposed to see because she just had her period, right? If she sees at that point, she has Yud Aleph Yom, right? Which could make her a zava. If she sees one day, it's a zava ktana. If she sees 3 days, it's a zava gdoila, and she has to wait shiva nekiyim, right? But then after the shiva nekiyim, right? So if she sees 3 days, let's say, right? Then she becomes a zava gdoila. If it's yimei ziva, then she has to wait. If she sees 3 days, she has to wait shiva nekiyim, right? And then the next day is the 11th day. One more day, she's good already because she needs 11 days, right? So let's say she sees 5 days. In the worst case, so if it's Yimei Ziva, if the first day she saw was Yimei Ziva, so then she now and 1, 2, 3 is Yimei Ziva, let's say, right? So then she only needs to wait another Shiva Nikiyim. So she has already two other days that she saw done. The 4th and 5th she saw done, right? So now she just needs to wait Shiva Nikiyim. 7 plus 5 is 12. She's already in Yimei Nidas for sure. No Shaila. Right? Elamai what? This is Tchilas Nida. If this is Tchilas Nida, so she only has to wait 17. She's 8. This is number 1 of 18. Right? The worst case scenario, right? And you have to wait 18 from this one, not from this one, not from number 5. Only right. So it's only 12. Right? The worst case scenario is that we can't count the first 2 days because it's Ziva. And then she started Nida, but still, even if she started Nida on the 3rd day, so she's already 3 days in already. So she only needs to wait another 15 days, right? Right? So she already saw 3 out of 18, and 15 will get her to the beginning of the Nida cycle because 1, 2, 3, another 4 till she finishes her Nida period, and then another 11 for Ziva, right? So and then this is the way it's going to go. Right? So Chamisha Yom Tamarisi Pischa Chamisha Asa, Shisha Yom Tamarisi Pischa Arba Asa. As she sees one more day, right? We decrease the day she has to wait because it has to be. If you saw Shiva Yom Tamei Reisi, so the worst case scenario is the first 2 days where you may ziva. Then she has 5 days already that she saw. So 5 out of 18 she saw already. So now she only has to wait 13. Shiva Yom Reisi Pesach Shloisha Asa. Shmoyne Yom Tamei Reisi. So again, you detract the first days. Maybe the first 2 days were Yimei Ziva, but then she has 6 days already that she saw for Nidas in the worst case scenario that it's Nidas, and therefore Pischot Shnei Masar, because 6 and then plus 12 is the full 18, which is 7 and 11, right? Okay. Tisha Yomim Tamei Reisi, the same thing. You take off the first 2, you have 7 left. So Pischot Echad Asar, she only has 11 more days for her Yimei Ziva. Asar Yom Tamarisi. So again, Pischa Asar, because she ready. The first 2 are maybe Yimei Ziva, and then the next 8 are the 7 of Yimei Nida, 1 of Ziva, and then she only has 10 left for Ziva. Echad Asar Pischa Tisha. 11. She has 9 left. Plus 9 is 18. Shnei Masar, it's 10 plus 8 is 18. Shloisha Asar. I'm just minusing 2. And Shloisha Asar minus 2 is 11, so she already saw 11 days from the beginning of a cycle, and then she only has 7 left till the end. Now, She'ein Pesach B'toya Pachas Mishiva, because there is no less Pesach B'toya, there is no time less than Shiva. V'lo Yasel Shiva Asa, not more than 17. Right? So not more than 17 we can understand. We just saw, because even if she sees one day, maybe it was the first day of Nida. So in order to get back to her status of knowing that she's a regular Nida, she has to wait 17 days, but not less than 7, because even if she sees, right, what we left off with, if she saw Shloisha Asar, so Pischa Shiva, right? Why didn't she go if she saw Arba Asar, Pischa Shisha, right? It doesn't work that way, because what we've been doing is we've been being chayshesh that maybe she's holding in. What we've been doing is we've been chashish that maybe she's been holding in Tchilas Nidos, right? And we want to elongate. Maybe the 3rd day is Tchilas Nidos, right? But maybe not. Maybe she's Nimei Ziva, right? Maybe she's fully Nimei Ziva, and therefore, when she sees that, she needs to wait Shiva Nekim. So you can't have less than 7. You can never have less than 7. Once she has Shiva Nekim, she goes back to her Nida status no matter what, as long as it's the full 11 days. And if she sees if she's been seeing for 14 days and it's Yimei Ziva, so she's for sure gone. She's for sure past her 11 days of Ziva. But she now needs Shiva Nekim, and then she'll start again. But you can never go less than 7, because if it's Yimei Ziva, you can't go less. You have to have Shiva Nekim, no matter what. Right. So that's why there's nothing less than 7. Now, Amr le'Radu Barav l'Rabba Lamli Kulei Hai. Why do you have to wait so much? Timni Shiva, the Tishtri. Let her wait Shiva Nekim, and she'll be mutter. Meaning what? You have a woman who saw 1 day, or 2 days, or 3 days. Your suffix is what? Maybe she's a nida, maybe she's a zava, right? If she's a zava for 1 day, she needs to wait only 1 day. If she's a zava g'dayla, right? She has to wait 7. If she's a regular nida, she also has to wait 7. So let her wait 7 nikiyim, right? So that even if she saw 3 days straight in Yemei Ziva, she's good. And so why do you have to wait all these days? So the Gemara says, which is Rashi explains like it's simply pashut. This is obvious. He didn't chap exactly what the Mishnah was trying to do, but we don't mean to be matter her. You want to be matter her labayla, that's no problem. You could be matter her labayla. If she has shiva nikiyim, she's vaday mutter. She's vaday not a zava. She's vaday not a nida. The shaila is we're still messed up in terms of the dating. We don't know if she sees now. We don't know what to do. Are you a zava? Are you a nida? Do you have to need to wait 1 day now because the zava who sees 1 day needs to wait only 1 more day, or are you now you have to wait 7 days like every nida, right? Or maybe, and now if she sees 3 days, we don't know what to do with that. Is a viter part of the regular nida period, and therefore you only have to wait till the end of the 7th day and do toivel? Or no, now you're a zavak you need to wait shiva nikiyim, not just shiva, right? So it's very important to know where on her calendar she's holding, right? In order for so therefore, what we're saying is it's not to be matter her labayla. Matter labayla is easy, right? All you need is shiva nikiyim in every scenario. Over here, we want to just get her back to our calendar, and this is the only way. If she has the amount of nikiyim that we said. Okay. Tana Rabbanan. Kol hatoya zava is all women who are toya. Now a zava, literal words mean kol hatoyas are zavas. Mevi'in carbon, they bring mevi'as carbon, ve'einin nechal. They bring a carbon chatas, and it's not nechal, except for if chutz mi pischa shiva u pischa shmayin. Only if her pesach is in 7 days or 8 days, meaning in the case of when she saw 12 and 13, right? In the case when she saw 12 and 13, she has to wait 7 and 8, 8 and 7, right? So in that situation, right, the carbon is necha, right? Chutz mi pischa shiva, pischa shmayin, she mevi'as carbon v'necha. Now the Gemara asks, before we explain, the Gemara asks, Atu kol toyas zavas, well, all toyas are zavas, what does that mean? The two also, yoim echad u'shnei yomim basi suya carbon he. Okay, so a zava has to bring korbanos, right? A zava has to bring korbanos, right? Now, in oila you could do al tanai. Right, so if she's a suffix, like a woman like Bayasa here, she's not sure, she lost count, she's not sure if she's a zava or not. She has to wait shiva nikiyim suffix, but then does she bring a carbon or not? So she does bring a carbon. The oila, it could be done bitnai, then maybe it's a chayva. If it's a chayva, it should be from my chayva. If not, it should be in a dava. But a chatas is not done al tanai. You can't make a chatas al tanai. The halacha is you bring the chatas, but you can't eat it. Now, I think Rashi says it's a bird. What she does is she brings a bird, and you do melika. I'm just wondering why it's not chulin ba'azara, right? How do you bring chulin ba'azara if she's not a zava? So then it's chulin ba'azara.
But maybe a bird is different,
right? Because a bird, you do melika, and if you do melika, it becomes nevela.
Where to do it though? Up or down? Upstairs or downstairs?
Right. We had this. Okay, either way, the Gemara says you bring the carbon, and the chatas you don't eat, right? Because it's a suffix, and maybe it wasn't a carbon, so you can't eat it. Okay, so you don't eat the chatas, right? But because she's a suffix, she has to bring a carbon. Now says the brisa that if she's a zava, if she's a suffix zava, she brings the carbon, and right the chatas you don't eat. Now except chutz, right? So let's read again. All toyas that are zavas are mevi'as carbon ve'ein nechal, except chutz pischa shiva or pischa shmayin. Because if it's pischa shiva and pischa shmayin, she saw for 12 or 13 days, which means, right, that no matter what, she is a zava. Why? Because even if the first 2 days, right, if a zava sees we may need the 3 days, she's a zava for sure, right? What's the worst? If you try to prolong the possibilities in the worst way is if the first 2 days, again, you saw 12 and 13. So let's say the first 2 days were tchilas nidos, so that doesn't count because there were tchilas nidos of a previous cycle, and it's only 2 days, so that doesn't count. The next 7 days where you may need this, right? So 2 plus 7 is already 9. But so even if the first 9 days that she saw were still not 3 days of nidos, 3 days of zava, right? Because it was 2 of zava, which didn't count for anything. You have to have 3 consecutive days of ziva in order to. So the first 2 don't count because they're just two days of ziva. Then 7 days of nidos, which is 9, right? She still sees, right? She saw either 12 or 13, which is another 3 or 4, right? Which means that she for sure sees 3 or 4 days of ziva, no matter what. Somewhere in there, she saw 3 or 4 days of ziva. Maybe in the first 3 already she became a zava, right? We don't know. But the worst case scenario, or the best case scenario, however you say, whatever, is that for sure, no matter what, the last 3 days are going to be ziva, right? And therefore, she's b'chayiv midina to bring korban zava, no matter what. And therefore, in the case of Pischa Shiva, Pischa Shmoina, where she saw 12 or 13 days, so then she's chayiv no matter what to bring a korban. Okay, she's b'chayiv those. It says the Gemara, but two also. Okay, so then the Gemara asks, two kol tayas zavas. It sounds like from the Brisa, all tayas are zavas. Are all tayas zavas? Really, all women who are mistaken are zavas? What are you talking about? The two yoim echad. So too, every taya, right? He's saying every taya has a din like a zava. Every woman who makes a mistake doesn't figure out she's for sure a zava, and she has to for sure bring her korban. What do you mean? If she sees 1 day or 2 days, she doesn't have to bring a zava. In order for a zava to bring, she has to see 3 days. What do you mean? What do you mean? Everyone has to bring a korban. Ella, the Gemara says this is called zavas hataya. It's all zavas that are mistaken. Mevias korban ve'nechal. They bring a korban. It's not nechal. Chutz v'pischa shiva v'pischa shmoina. She mevias korban ve'nechal. It means all tayas that are all tayas that are possible to be chayav a korban, which means she has to see at least 3, right? Then they would have to bring a korban misafik unless it's 7 or unless the din is she has to be 7 or 8. In that situation, vada nida. Okay. Ein b'negoyim hochos mishavua echad. By negoyim, by tzoras, you don't have to wait less. I mean, the least amount that a person. This is by nigei adam. There's a possibility for him to wait only 7 weeks, and the kohen checks it out, and whatever exactly the kohen sees that it's a tahor tzoras. Now, after you wait 7 days, then you're tahor. But there's no way to get out of tzoras less than waiting 1 full 7-day cycle. I mean, it's 1 full week. So ein b'negoyim pachas mishavua echad v'lo yaseh shel shavuos. But you'll never have to wait more than 3 weeks to know what happens. Right? This is by nigei batim, right? When there's 3 times the kohen will come and see the house, 1, 2, 3, and the most it will take is 3 weeks. After that, you'll for sure get a psak, whether it's Tamar or Torah, right? So ein b'negoyim pachas mishavua echad. You never have to wait less than a week, and not more than 3 weeks. Well, yes, al shleisha shavuos. Says the Gemara, pachas mishavuos nigei adam. But yes, al shleisha shavuos, not more than 3. That's by nigei batim. Amar of Papa. Tzidkascha keharei el. Your tzedek is like the mountains of Hashem. Elu nigei adam. These are referring to nigei adam, which it's b'tzedek, because Hashem gives us. You can get out of it in 1 week. It's tzedek. Mishpatechet ha'im rabba. That mishpat is din. It's hard. It's judgment, right? That's the ha'im rabba. Ha'im rabba means are great depths, meaning it's hard, right? So you're saying, yeah, that is elu nigei batim. That are very hard to get out of. You could even be stuck for 3 weeks, not being sure what the status, and still having tzoras, right? So he's been darshing the pasuk of tzidkascha is the positive, and mishpatecha is the hardship for nigei batim. Okay, so I saw the Mishnah Avos, and then the Bergamot says, "Kininu pischenida hein gufei halachas." Gemachas, the Kufis Gemachas is purpose l'chachim. The Ro explains that even though, why is it mentioning Kinin and Pischenida? Because these, both Masechet Kinim and what we just did, this Pischenida is the Mishnah we just did. You might think, oh, whatever, I'll know the Kolel, I'll know the halachas, and then just to know what happens if you mess up and how to take, that's just math, right? So it's not Torah. You don't get schar for it. It's not. Right, it's just math. I'll learn up the Kolel, and that's it, right? And whatever. So I'll ask Einstein how to cheshbon. It doesn't make a difference. So the Ro says no. You have to understand that that's good for Torah. That's always brought me Sinai, and you have to know. You get schar for it. But kufis and gematrias, which is more like kufis is how the mazalos work, the horoscopes. That's not Torah. And so gematrias, you want to make cheshbonis. That's not Torah. That's parpos l'chachma. That's the dips. That's not the actual meat of Torah. That's the dips. That's Mishnah. Okay. The Seder. Okay, so the Gemara was saying Pashtet Dikra b'Ma'ik Sivos. We have a pasuk in Tehillim Tzedkos L'Keharei El Mishpatechet Ohem Rabba. So on the one hand, it's emphasizing the tzedek, the amazing tzedek of Hashem that are like strong, great mountains, but also Mishpatecha is your din, the scariness of being judged by Hashem is Tohem Rabba is the great depths, right? So what's he trying to say? So Pashtet Dikra b'Ma'ik Sivos Amar Rabbi Yehuda Ilmolis Tzedkos L'Keharei El. If not for your tzedek that was so amazing, mi yuchal lamed lifnei mishpatecha tohem Rabba. Who could stand in front of your mishpat? Rabba Omar tzedkos l'karei el mipnei shemishpatecha tohem Rabba. Your tzedek is because of the mishpat. So Gemara says, "My comment." The Gemara is going to explain with explaining the machlekes. The Gemara is going to explain what they're saying. What do they mean? With the Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Bachanina. The Itmar Rabbi Elazar Amar Koivesh, Rabbi Bachanina Amar Noiseh. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah talks about a Beinani, right? There's a Rasha, and there's a Tzaddik, and then there's the Beinani. The Beinani is in the middle. He's Mechza Schuyus and Mechza Avainus, right? And what happens to him? Beishama is very chomer. He says he has to go to Gehenna, and then he comes back up. Yisrael says no. Hashem is Matek Lapei Chesed. He's only one away, right? So Hashem sort of the imagery of being judged is like with the scales, with the maznayim, right? And so Hashem is Matek Lapei Chesed. So there's machlokes in the Gemara. How is Hashem Matek Lapei Chesed? Pasha way to explain the machlokes is koivish or noisek. The pshat is does Hashem take the mitzvahs, right? It's exactly perfectly in the middle, and it's a problem because we don't know your Beinani, right? So does Hashem take the mitzvahs and push them down? So now, the mitzvahs, right? Or does He take the avanis and push them up? Right? It's a question of does He emphasize the positive or de-emphasize the negative, right? So that's koivish and noisek. So the Gemara says that's the machlokes over here. But the Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Bachanina, the Itmar, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Koivish, Rabbi Bachanina, Rabbi Noiseh. The Ma'aseh, the way Rashi explains Noiseh in our sugya, Rashi doesn't explain that Hashem picks up the avainus, picks up the side of avainus. Rashi explains it that he takes away the avainus. He just takes it away and throws it out, whatever, right? So the Gemara says like this: Rabba is Rabbi Elazar. Rabba holds Koivish, and the way he reads the pasuk is Tzedkos L'Keharei El mipnei shemishpatecha tohem Rabba. Because your mishpatecha is so deep, the avainus are so heavy, and your mishpat is so hard. So therefore, we need you to be koivesh, right? We need Hashem to use His tzedek to be koivesh, to push down the side of zechuyos, in order for us not to have the mishpat tohem Rabba. But Rabbi Yehuda is Rabbi Bachanina who holds noiseh. So the pshat is, if not, and what Hashem is doing is Hashem is just taking the avainus away. So what he says is, if not for your tzedek, so who would be able to be with your? Who would be able to stand with your mishpat? Because the mishpat we would be mishpat, the din would be machriya, and we would be chayiv because it's so deep. The mishpat is so deep, so therefore Hashem has to take away the tzedek and be noiseh the ovain and pick up the ovain and throw it out. Right. So and if not, we would be stuck with mishpat tohem Rabba. Good. That's what Rashi explains. Masechet. Masnisim. Ein poischin, right? We're back to the series of Mishnayos which deal with not less than, not more. So ein poischin ma'arba chadashim and we don't have less than 4 leap months. To have months, right? Not leap months, right? In lunar month can either be 29 days or 30 days, right? So if you make it 30 days, it's an extra day. So we can only have 4 months. You can't have less than 4 months with 30 days. Uber means literally impregnated, right? Meaning an extra month, an extra day in the month. You can't have less than 4 months that are Uber and Shana. The Leinira Yisrael Shana, and not more than 8. The Gemara is going to explain why it says Leinira. What does it mean? Now, okay, the Gemara is going to explain the cheshbon. Not less than 4, not more than 8. Shtei Alechem. The Shtei Alechem is what's brought on the chalas, the lechem that's brought in Shavuos. Now, the deal with Shtei Alechem is that it's not doicha Shabbos or Yom Tov, which means you have to bake it the day before. So on a regular situation, it's 1 day old. It's on the 2nd day already, right? So Shtei Alechem ein achol pachas mishnayim. You can never have it less than 2 days old because the first day was baked and the 2nd day is Yom Tov. But lo yasar ashlosha, not more than 3 if Yom Tov of Shavuos falls out on Sunday. right? So it had to be baked. It's not Doicha Shabbos either, so it has to be baked on Friday. So you have Friday, Shabbos, and then Sunday's already the third day. So, but not more than 2. Lechem Apanim Einechel Pachas Mites. Lechem Apanim is baked on Friday. It's put on the shulchan in the Beis Hamikdash. It's put onto the shulchan on Shabbos. It waits there a full week, right? It waits there a full week until the next Shabbos, and it's eaten on Shabbos. So that's 9 days, because Friday to Friday is 8, right? If you're counting Friday, so Friday is 8, and then Shabbos is 9, right? So it's usually not less than 9. Echad Osar is if, let's say, you have Yom Tif, right? If you have Yom Tif, Yom Tif falls out on Friday, so you can't bake it on Friday, you have to bake it the day before. But let's say you have Yom Tif Rosh Hashanah, falls out on Thursday and Friday, so you can't do it on Thursday, you can't do it on Friday, so you have to do it on Wednesday. So over there you added 2 days, so now it's 11. You can never mal a kid less than 8 days old. The case of Shnei is, let's say he's born on Bein HaShmashas, between Friday and Shabbos, and you don't know, right? You don't know whether or not he was born really Shabbos, so therefore you can be Doicha Shabbos, or Friday, right? And therefore you can't be Doicha Shabbos. You can't do it on Friday because maybe it's the 7th, maybe it's early. It's too early. You can't be mild early. You have to wait until you know for sure. But you can't be Doicha Shabbos because Mila Shalei Bizman is not Doicha Shabbos, and therefore you would have to wait till the next Sunday, right? Which potentially would be the 9th day, right? But let's say it's Rosh Hashanah. Let's say it's 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, right? So you end up having to wait. Now you're not doing it on Shabbos. You're not doing it on Sunday. You're not doing it on Monday. You're doing it on Tuesday, right? So that's already Shnei Masar. That's already, you waited instead of 8 days, right? Which would have been Friday, I guess, right? So you did Shabbos, Sunday, Shabbos, which is 9, Sunday 10, Monday 11. You have to do it on the 12th day. So that's. Okay, we'll continue. The Gemara is going to explain